You don't ask for help. You don't seek validation. You handle everything yourself. And society keeps telling you that's a problem. But what if your brain is actually wired for something most people will never understand? Here's what nobody tells you. Being self sufficient as an introvert doesn't make you cold. It doesn't mean you're emotionally unavailable. There's something fascinating happening in your brain that's completely different from people who need constant connection. So, why do you feel most powerful when you're completely alone? Well, most people's brains are hardwired for outside approval. They post, they share, they need feedback loops to feel okay. Their self worth is literally outsourced to other people's opinions. Every like, every compliment triggers a feel good chemical that says, yes, you exist, you matter. As for your brain, it looks at that system and says, nah, I'm good. Self sufficient introverts run on a completely different operating system. While everyone else is charging their batteries through social interaction, you're running on a different brain chemical, one that rewards you for going inward. Deep focus, thinking things through, solving problems in your head. Research shows introverted brains are more sensitive to the social reward chemical. Too much outside noise doesn't energize you, it overwhelms you. It's like everyone else needs a shot of espresso to function, and you're getting jittery from half a cup of green tea. You're not broken, you're just chemically designed for different fuel. But here's what makes you genuinely different. You don't just prefer being alone. You've built an entire internal world that's more interesting than most people's external ones. And it shows up in three specific ways your brain operates. First, your brain takes the scenic route. When someone asks you a question, extroverts fire back instantly. You pause, and society reads that as hesitation. But information in introverted brains takes a longer path. It loops through where memories live, where self awareness happens, where planning occurs. While extroverts give you the first thing that pops into their heads, you're cross referencing, analyzing, considering what might happen next. It's like they're sending a text and you're writing a dissertation. Studies show introverts have thicker brain matter in the area responsible for complex thinking. You're literally built for depth. When you're sitting quietly, seemingly doing nothing, your brain is running scenarios, connecting patterns, composing symphonies of thought most people will never hear. That's not overthinking. That's your supercomputer doing what it was designed to do. Second, your validation comes from a completely different source. Picture this. You just finished a project you're proud of. Most people's first thought, who can I tell? Who needs to see this? Will they think it's good? They're already reaching for their phone, crafting the caption, imagining the reactions. Your first thought, did I do this well? Does this meet my standard? See the difference? Their worth gets calculated by others. Yours gets calculated by you. You've developed what's called an internal compass. When you accomplish something, the approval comes from within, not because you're arrogant, because you've learned to trust your own judgment more than the crowd's opinion. Research found that self sufficient introverts seek way less support from others during stressful times. Not because the help isn't available, because you've been solving your own problems since you figured out you could. This isn't emotional unavailability, it's emotional independence. You're not afraid of connection. You're just selective about who gets access to your inner world. And that selectivity, that's not weakness. That's wisdom, earned through pattern recognition. Third, your solitude isn't escape. It's where you actually work. Here's where most people completely misunderstand you. They see you alone and think you're hiding from life. The reality? You're running toward yourself. Last Tuesday, while your coworker spent 3 hours scrolling and calling it downtime, you were in your quiet space actually processing your week, connecting dots between that conversation on Monday and the project due Friday, building frameworks for problems you haven't even faced yet, rehearsing scenarios, testing ideas against reality. That's not rest. That's preparation. That's strategy. Brain scientists discovered that when introverts are alone, the thinking part of the brain doesn't power down, it powers up. You're not wasting time. You're doing the mental work most people avoid their entire lives. And because you spend so much time with yourself, you know how you feel. You know why you feel it. You can sit with discomfort far longer than most people can. This is why self sufficient introverts have that quiet confidence that unsettles people. You don't need to prove anything because you've already proven everything to yourself. Now, here's the part that explains why you refuse to perform. You can socialize. You can be charming, engaging, even the life of the party when you choose to be. But for extroverts, social interaction is the point. For you, it's a choice. In most social settings, Everyone's performing. Research found that people who prefer less social interaction are actually better at spotting when someone's words don't match their feelings. You're not socially awkward, you're socially sophisticated. You just refuse to participate in surface level exchanges. It's not that you can't do small talk, it's that your brain treats it like eating plain oatmeal when everyone else thinks it's a gourmet meal. Your nervous system craves substance, and you're perfectly capable of casual conversation. Sure, but at what cost? So here's what society won't tell you: the world is designed for people who need people. Team projects, networking events, shared workspaces. It's all built on the assumption that we're better together. But you've discovered something radical. You're often better alone. Warren Buffett, Elon Musk, Steve Jobs. They all do their best work in solitude, long term focus, clear vision, steady conviction. They develop ideas to full maturity before releasing them into the world. Not because they're antisocial, because their brains are wired for depth, not performance. Does this mean never ask for help? No. But your instinct to figure things out on your own isn't a character flaw. It's how your brain works best. Self sufficient introverts might be the most misunderstood personality type in modern society. You're not cold, you're just not performing warmth for an audience. You're not antisocial, you're selective about who deserves your energy. You're not emotionally unavailable. You're just not outsourcing your emotional stability. Society will keep telling you to be more open, more social, more collaborative. And sure, being flexible matters, but so does knowing who you are and refusing to apologize for it. Your self sufficiency isn't a wall keeping people out, it's a foundation keeping you grounded. So the next time someone calls you too independent or too self reliant, remember they're describing how you're wired, not your worth. You're not missing out. You're just built for depth in a world that celebrates volume. And that's exactly what makes you irreplaceable. So tell me, do you recharge by being around people or by finally getting away from them? Drop it in the comments. If this hit home, subscribe. See you in the next one.